Well, here we are with the team that made nice shoes. And I probably don't have to say this because it was in the credits, but Tommy Mack below is the musician, singer, everything, made the song, and then came up with the idea for the video.
These hairstyles.
Yes. And then, and in our upper left is Jonathan Lawrence, who directed it. So go ahead. I'm sure you've got a great way to describe how this video came to be.
Tommy, you want to start?
Well, here's something really fun technically. I've been a musician for 30 years doing all sorts of different stuff. For the last 10 years, I haven't been doing much because I've been a filmmaker. But a friend of mine from Dallas sent me, are you ready? A cassette. Yes, a cassette of an old song that he and I recorded one night in a recording studio while drunk off our tits. Anyway, I got this cassette, didn't know what was on it, found a cassette deck somewhere on Mars and played it and heard this song. And I laughed out loud. Oh my God, that song was so much fun. What the hell? And then my good friend Jonathan, who directed one of my previous music videos, he was itching to do another one because he knows that I like to do weird things. And I like working with Jonathan because when he directs music videos, he tends to tell a story, and that's my philosophy as well. So I played him a few things I'd written in the past, and then I said, and here's this other one from a cassette. And he chose that one. So he goes, we're going to make a music video on that. And I thought, okay, sure, right. And we met up at a bar or restaurant, talked about some crazy ideas, and lo and behold, as he coined it, we made a music video as meaningless as the song itself. And yes, everything you're hearing came from a cassette.
Although meaningless is cheeky, but I'm not sure if it's true. I mean, it's just a love letter to science fiction.
Yeah, that was kind of my thing. I told him because I didn't really know what to make of the song. There isn't really a story per se in the song, which is fine and it's great, but just the whole vibe of the song. Originally I was thinking do something kind of like robots and things like that, because the song has those great sounds to it and stuff, and just have that be the background. And that kind of fell apart when I realized contacting people to make robots was not as easy as I thought. And then I just came up with the idea of science fiction homages and said to Tommy, Tommy, I just want to do this with sci-fi homages. And Tommy's thing was originally to have himself or somebody as Rod Serling in the one part of the song where it says, picture this. And then I just took that and ran with that. And I said, okay, the only way I'm going to do this is if you let me recreate the opening of The Twilight Zone, shot for shot. And he said, if that's what you want to do, you do it. And I said, and I want to do it with actual physical models as much as possible rather than CGI. And he said, knock yourself out. So that's how it came to me, where I said, okay, if I get to do that, I'll do the song.
And you gentlemen sent me the making of video you put together, which is wonderful. And we're going to play that after this Q&A.
Oh, great.
But I have to say, I am one of those people who was fooled. The first time I started watching this video, I was like, oh, they're starting with the Twilight Zone. Like I thought it was nicked. I thought it was not a duplication, but just to hit record on you grabbed an old VHS, grabbed it.
Well, so did CBS. In fact, because we recreated the Twilight Zone optics perfectly, shot for shot, the door, the eyeball, everything, they actually thought it was theirs and sent us a cease and desist letter and saying if we made any money on our video that they would take it from us.
Yeah, as if there's money in music videos. It's literally free promotion of a song.
Well, it was funny too, because I did line up the opening for, I think it's the 4th season of Twilight Zone. I lined it up in the computer and I just timed out everything. And even when Tommy's rotating the door, there's a little thing. If you watch the original Twilight Zone opening, season 4, the door kind of does this false move before it actually turns in. And
like
so
or something.
Yeah, so Tommy and I counted it off: 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, hold, then rotate the door. And instead of rotating. What?
Some poor guy back then was holding the door in front of the camera and goes, doo 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 doo. Yeah. And background, Rod Serling goes, picture this: an underpaid, overworked man holding a door.
So I chose not to shoot it on green screen. I chose to shoot it on a black backdrop because they didn't even have green screen back then. And if you look at the original opening, it's composited in. You can see through it. You can see transparency through the original door. So I layered it in on black, like they probably would have when they shot that.
Yeah, no, it's completely convincing.
Oh, good.
But then most of it is, and I love how most of your doubles are. They definitely feel more like homages than doubles. You know, you're not making fun of any of this stuff. You're not making fun of any of these characters.
Except red shirts.
Yeah, the red shirt.
We made fun of that.
But he even looks like a real red shirt. He has that generic white guy red shirt vibe.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we are huge science fiction fans, and when we say an homage, we literally mean it in a wonderful, loving sense. We're not making fun of anything.
No, we love that stuff.
It's a tribute in every way, and everyone who sees it, we found out that the director of Buckaroo Banzai himself saw the video, and he said his mind was blown, and he loved our recreation of the end credits with all the actors looking and dressing the same.
Well, Tommy,
amazing.
Tommy, that's really a tribute to you because you worked your underground magic to get us over to the dam where they shot those ending credits. You know, you made deals with security guards.
A little bribery of security guards.
A little bribery of security guards, and when you were scouting it, you know, you found out later that you walked through about a mile of snake-infested, property.
Yeah, you know, that dam is 2 miles that way from where I'm sitting.
It's 2 miles.
Just off Sepulveda.
It's been used for everything. Escape from New York, Fast and Furious.
Which, if you watch carefully, you will see up on. I think we have 2 shots of the dam with the Buckaroo team, Team Banzai, and up on the bridge, I composited in the words "Escape from New York," and then also an homage to help me out.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
No, the universe, the answer to the universe and everything. Yes,
Hitchhiker's Universe and everything.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you have a master list written down somewhere? Because
I do.
Confession, I know for a fact, even though I've enjoyed sci-fi for the last 50 plus years, there were some that I missed. I'm like, okay, wait, what was that one? And sometimes they're familiar, and sometimes it's something that might be a gap in my knowledge. Like, you could create a viewing list for people.
Well, I'll tell you what, for you and for all the watchers of Film Invasion Los Angeles, we'll hand it over to you and you can post it and see how many they got themselves.
Sure, I'll put it on. I'll put it because you have your own page on our website. We can put it right there, right below your credits.
Okay, I'll get that to Tommy. I'll get it to you actually. It's I think there's 43 individual references. Some are repeated. The only reference you won't get is the one to one of my own sci-fi films, Dream Parlor. So I put one of my own sci-fi, one of my own films, and there's one that I don't think anybody will ever get. I don't think there's one that will, and I'll give it away right here now to you exclusively. There's one that nobody will get, even if you watch it frame by frame. Do you remember the TV show Quark with Richard Benjamin?
Even with my big hair, went over my head.
It was a spoof on Star Trek.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very short-lived. Yeah, so I changed the name of the TV that Max Headroom was on from Sony to Quark. That subtle of a reference. It's so subtle, no one would ever get it.
Right, we call that a deep cut in the music business.
That's right. Deep cut.
What really sucks is that we have so much footage, and like we had access to a real time machine DeLorean. I met a guy at the Million McFly March, and he had a time machine DeLorean. I found him on Facebook. I said, hey, can we use you in a music video? So we got his car and we made him one of the men in black during the alien autopsy, but we couldn't figure out where to fit the time machine DeLorean in our story. And what's really painful is that we have so much more footage that never made it into the final because the music song itself was only about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
I couldn't re-edit the song because there wasn't really a way to do it. I don't have access to those samples or that equipment I used at the time. So we had to leave a lot on the cutting room floor. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you can do a 1 hour making of
Yeah, we could, or extend the song or something. We could do a 1-hour making up for a 3-minute song.
Hey, everyone watching, watch the making of video. It's just as fun as the real music video.
It is, and revealing too. It's very cool. And of course, Tommy and we emailed about the fact that much thanks that your Doctor Who is Tom Baker.
The Doctor, yeah, of course. I mean, that is Doctor Who to me as well. And that turned out such a lucky thing, because I posted a picture of Tom Baker as Doctor Who on Facebook, and I said, do I have any friends who know any cosplayers who do Doctor Who? And my friend John Inge emailed me right away. He goes, who's that? And I said, that's Tom Baker from Doctor Who. And he goes, I thought it was my friend Andrew. And I said, what? And he goes, yeah. And he sent me a link to Andrew's Facebook. Am I saying that? Is it Tommy?
Elkins.
Yeah. Right. And he said, we contacted him right away and said, hey, this is a no budget thing. We're doing this for the labor of love. Can you come play with us? And he's like, yeah, sure. Where do you want me to be? And I think it was either the next day or within a couple of days, we had Doctor Who fully there and doing it. Yeah. And he was the spitting image.
Yeah. Now he knows if there ever is another Comic-Con, if the pandemic ever allows that size gathering again, he can go down there and get free drinks for a week.
He does. He was doing that.
That's what he was doing, exactly.
Oh, he was. Oh, I thought it.
This was a big thing for him. I mean, and he does several of the Doctors as well.
Yeah.
But he was the spit, and then of course the other people we brought in were just as delightful as can be.
Yeah, your Ripley and your
Lilu Dallas was great.
Yep. And right, Ripley, Lilu, Barbarella, my friend Irina.
In fact, I think it is the sheer volume of references that wins the viewer over, because
But we're not.
It would be funny to have a version of the video with like a running count in the corner, because the jury member I told you, the gentleman who, when he came here from France, went to the Bradbury building because Blade Runner is his all-time favorite.
Yeah, me too.
It's funny because we first went to the Bradbury building just seeing if we could steal some shots, but we got there and it was in December and they put up Christmas lights all on the inside. It's like, oh, facepalm. So we came back a few months later and I'm wearing the Blade Runner jacket, a coat that he had custom made. And we tell the security guard that we're just tourists from Nebraska and we're huge Blade Runner fans. And could we get some pictures? And he said, yeah. Can we go up the stairs? Yeah, but you can't go any further up the stairs. Just stay at the top and come down. I said, okay. And there were other people there. We just kind of hid them behind some special effects.
Yeah, and then of course I had to composite in like the beams of light following you around and things like that. So I was just handheld with a Canon 5D Mark III, laying on the ground. Okay, go Tommy, go. He walked by and.
But again, I bet that's you weren't bothering anyone.
No, we were.
You're harmless.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can get away with if you just ask.
And then I actually live about a mile from the street where they shot the ET scene where the bikes take off. So we had the alien, and I thought, Tommy, let's just use my bike and let's stick the alien in the basket and have you ride down that street. So we strapped the camera into the back of my SUV, and I had a monitor up on the dashboard. I'm driving to make sure that I've got him in the shot as I'm following the bicycle.
Other cars driving by were really, really confused.
Yeah, they were. Well, we couldn't actually fit the alien into the basket either, because that's just a solid big alien. So Tommy bought this plastic alien mask, and I ran to the thrift store and got a white blanket, and we wrapped it up and made it look like the alien, and just stuck the alien, a completely different alien mask, inside the blanket.
So you're probably figuring out this music video. Technically, I'm gonna have to estimate this. If we paid everything, all permits, union dues of works, I think $250,000.
Yeah, if a record company had looked at the storyboard and given it a green light.
Yeah.
It would have been a
As you
fortune.
imagine, we didn't pay that. I mean, sure, the director was taken care of because he's the talented one. He's the one who makes it all possible. So take care of the director, and also costumes and food. I feed my crew and talent extremely well. Happy crew, they perform better. Period. That's the law. Feed them well.
And
Yeah,
I mean, how long did the shoot take? I mean, there's a lot of ground you covered.
about a year, just off and on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
hey, you got time this weekend? Hey, you got any money this weekend to buy another costume? You know, and Tommy would get the costumes off of eBay, I think. Not eBay, Amazon.
Amazon, Etsy, like Lilo Dallas was a Etsy thing. Someone who makes Lilo Dallas costumes. Just some thrift stores for all the Buckaroo Banzai stuff. I mean, it came from everywhere.
Yeah, and then as a thank you to them, Tommy would give them the costume at the end when we're done shooting. It's like, keep the costume.
Great. And I guess, yeah, because it was just something found on an old cassette, it wasn't like you were killing yourself. Like, I've got to get this video done to promote the song. This was just purely for fun. This was just labor of love.
Yeah,
Well,
labor of love.
everyone in the production business knows good, fast, or cheap. You can only choose two. We had good and cheap. It wasn't
Good and
fast.
cheap. Yeah, not fast. Good and cheap. We took. That's what we usually take. Good and
On our
cheap.
business card, good and cheap productions.
Good and cheap.
Good and cheap.
Good and cheap. Yeah.
And
Cheap.
scale of 1 to 10, was this the most fun you've had throwing together a video, or was it still just a lot of work in a way? Or
It was definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. For Tommy and I working together, yeah, this was the most fun I've had working on a project with him.
And my philosophy on set is that I want everyone to have fun, be professional, but have a lot of fun. So I try to make it that way for everyone. Because if you're not having fun, especially when you're not getting paid much, if at all, then you know, I want to make it worth their while. So we try to have as much fun as possible. And absolutely, and everyone who's been in the video, that, you know, they've got their slice of their costumes and their bit for the reel or whatever. Everyone has had such a great time, and I'm so thankful for the cast and crew, because without them, it couldn't have happened.
for sure.
You know, one thing, the Barbarella, the scene where we're recreating the sex machine with Barbarella. Tommy had this strange thing in the song where this woman is panting and breathing. I'm like, what do I do with that? You know, and so I said, oh, okay, well, we've got Barbarella. Let's do that scene with Barbarella. But if you know, we to build the chair or the bed thing that she's laying in. Well, I don't think it's actually called that. I think I looked that up. It's something else. But yes, for namesake, let's call it the Orgasmatron. And so what the Orgasmatron is basically Tommy sitting on the ground covered in a red sheet, wearing like this red stuff and red mitts, holding his arms out like this, that she's doing her thing on, you know, because I tried to design it sort of like they had in the movie, which are these red leather things coming around her like this. And so Tommy was just sitting there and she was laying in his lap in a tube top, doing her acting and grabbing onto Tommy's arms basically, but it looks like the arms of the chair. And we kept spritzing her with sweat.
Rough day.
Rough day for Tommy.
Yeah, totally.
Well, like I said, I bet we could talk about this video forever. It also would, see, that's too bad. If it were the era of not COVID, we could have enjoyed it in the theater with a big roaring audience, and heck, this would be a good one to pause and then, you know, talk about it as we go. But I'm actually gonna have to cut this off now. We're a couple minutes from my next Q&A, so it's like we're in the theater and the next film is gonna show.
And I just want
really fun. You both did excellent work. I think the song is really good.
Thank you.
And the video is outstanding. It's kind of a crowning achievement. I don't know if we'll ever, you know, see anything this devoted to the sci-fi of, I'll just say it, of our era. This is
sure.
This is you know, heck, I saw Buckaroo Banzai when it came out, and
Well, Jonathan and I are wondering what we're going to do next that can top this. We're going to try. We're not giving up, but it'll be tough, but we're going to try.
It'll be tough. And I just wanted to thank the Film Invasion for making this such a great experience for us and for filmmakers. A really welcoming place to come to.
Absolutely.
Our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Like I told you, we want people to refer to us as the festival that gives a shit.
And it totally feels that way. And I thank you so much, man. It's been an honor.
Thank you both. It was a pleasure. And like we said in one of those many emails you got, when it's safe to do so, we're going to get everyone together at a bar.
Great.
There will be an in-person Film Invasion 2020 mixer, even if it's 2021. But who knows when it'll be okay. But you're both local, so I expect you'll be there.
Cheers.
We will indeed. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you.
No.